Hey, the Browns defense is not just good, it's special. And we're going to talk about all the reasons why this defense is not just good, but it's special. I'm excited about this one. If you've watched me for any period of time, you know that when it gets time to talk about the defensive line, I get hype. You know what I mean? So let's get hype in the chat. It's time to talk about the Browns defensive line dominating. We're going to look at run stuffs, and we're going to look at pressures, and we're going to talk about why each player in this front seven is playing at an extremely high level, right? Schlesinger, Devin Bush, Grant Delpit, Myles Garrett, any of the other defensive linemen out there. Everybody out there playing at an extremely high level. This is just glorious defensive football that we're getting the opportunity to watch every Sunday. Before we jump into it, got to make sure we say what's up to our sponsor, Sleeper.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using the code WORSTTAKE. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
Browns defense, man, this defense is special, right? This defense puts the echelon in special. This defense is really, really good. You know what I mean? I've running out of ways to describe how good this defense is. Let's look at some run stuffs here. So let's go transition in here. It's early first quarter. Again, think about the running backs that the Browns have played, right? Now, Cincinnati doesn't count. They're terrible at running the ball for whatever reason, even though they might have a good running back. But if you look at Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, I mean, these were two of the best running backs in the league coming into their games versus the Browns off of big performances, right? Look what the Browns are able to do to them. First of all, Myles Garrett, again, peak of his powers, highest of high levels. Look how he just, look at that shit, man. Look at that, just slips out the way. Is that Tucker Kraft that tried to get a shot on him? Some tight end tries to get a shot on him or Musgrave. Doesn't happen. Shoof. And backside is contained, but not just as the backside contained, everything's contained. So that's Myles Garrett doing a great job there. That's one part of this. Now, let's look at the part that you might not have seen, right? Grant Delpit. Watch Grant Delpit here. He does an excellent job. Look at Grant getting under, playing his run fit. So run fits, you know, you got to know where your fit is, right? In the gaps. These are gaps here. Gap, 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 gap. And then obviously outside and outside, which are handled by the DBs for the most part. So gap, and then gap, and then gap, depending on where the run play flows, right? So you have to communicate all that. Grant Delpit playing his gap, sees where the run play is going, reads this well, and gets his shoulder low so he can squat down and box his man out and get in front of that gap there. Shelby Harris down low, doing a great job disengaging from his man. And what you have here is a running back that's caught dead to rights. There's nowhere for him to go. Sir, you're surrounded. Put your hands up in the air. He's got you. He's got you. Schlesinger's got you. He's got you. This is a run stuff. It's over with. There's nothing happening on this play. Beautiful. Beautiful textbook stuff right there. It's another run play later in the game. Third quarter. This is their wildcat snap. Don't know how this ended up in the Myles Garrett plays for Matt LaFleur, but it did. Maybe they think getting that extra body there would be good. and they're running away from whatever side Miles is on. Are they? Yeah. Yeah, they are. So they're running away. So how does this play get stopped? I mean, Grant Delpit, great job here, right? Number 9. So first player we're going to watch here, Grant Delpit. Does a good job of disengaging and attacking the ball. First of all, look how he gets downhill. Look where Grant Hill triggers downhill from, right? Like, he just sniffs this shit out. Like, this is beautiful. This is great stuff. That's a hell of a play from Grant Delpit. I don't know where he gets a whiff of this, right? But he starts from the free safety position. And he gets a whiff of this. Yeah, so he sees that wildcat formation. He gets a whiff of this, and he automatically knows, ain't no way in hell they're going to run that shit towards Miles, right? Ronnie Hickman doing a good job communicating too, right? They see the wildcat, hey, shift. Everybody shift down. They're running this away from Miles. There's no way they're running this towards Miles, right? And then Grant, I mean, by the time this ball is snapped, Grant's already there, right? Ball snap, Grant's already where the play's supposed to be, blowing that shit up. That's excellent communication, excellent teamwork, and that's the kind of stuff it's going to take with this trickery, right? Teams are going to try to take advantage of the Cleveland Browns defense being aggressive, and we saw this in 2023, right? Teams are going to attempt to take advantage of the Browns' aggressiveness by trying to trick them, right? That is the best way to kind of use the Browns' aggressiveness against them. It's kind of like judo, right? Where you use somebody else's aggression against them as momentum. That's how teams are going to try to fight the Cleveland Browns. The teams that are going to be able to do that really well are the teams that are going to be successful versus this Browns defense. And it's something you have to watch out for this upcoming week versus the Detroit Lions, because they are a good enough offensive line to pull that off. So that's how teams are going to try to get at you. How do you counter the judo is you see it coming. 3 bodies there. Again, Schlesinger always there to make a play. Great stuff. Great stuff there. Another run stuff. This time in the third quarter, 4 minutes left. 1st and 3 on the goal line. Man in motion. Again, shift. So you see the shift, right? Grant's a part of this run fit. And again, just textbook run fit right here, right? Textbook run fit. Devin Bush is crashing his gap because he has that middle gap, which is what you want him to do, right? Attack that gap with violence. He does that. Grant then goes to his gap. And then Schlesinger being a little bit less aggressive here because the play's not going his direction, kind of hovering because you don't want him to put that foot in the ground, reverse, and nobody be there, right? So Schlesinger's just watching the play. So your linebackers plus Grant Delpit doing a great job. But look at Devin Bush. How hard Devin Bush triggers downhill here. And then Aiden Huntington, another guy, right? So the run stuff happens, in my opinion, between 2 players right here that I can see immediately. Ooh, I don't know what happened there. 30 and Huntington, 98. Right? So 30, obviously we saw him earlier, right? Just shoot that gap with violence. But 90, oh no, it's Malik Collins, my bad, not Aiden Huntington. So Malik Collins gets to this double team, and he pushes that double team back. Now, when he does that, that does 2 things. One, it doesn't let 77 climb to Devin Bush. It also lets Miles shoot over here, get a one-on-one with the tight end, which is the design of the play. It's just like, now that's going to be an effective moment here because the play got stuffed, so he's going to have to look for another route to try to score this touchdown. And then Miles cleans it up. Again, great stuff. Great stuff. All right, another stuff here on the defensive line at the goal line. Again, this is just great pursuing. Right, they're trying to crease you. It's a nice cut by Jacobs. But Schlesinger does a good job, right? Guard on him. This is a tough assignment. You know, I watched Monday Night Football. Roquan Smith, supposedly one of the best linebackers in all of football. I doubt that, but, you know, one of the best linebackers in all of football. Had a guard on him. You know, people were telling me that he can't do anything. There's a guard on him, right? You know, there's nothing you can do. There's a lineman on him. He's outweighing him. Look how Schlesinger handles that, right? Center on him, both hands, and he just slides out of that, right? Arm up, meets it, and then swipes out of that. And he doesn't let that guard or center take him off of his assignment. And he's there to fill the gap. Also, another noteworthy job here by Devin Bush, who, I mean, like, this is who the Steelers thought they were drafting with Devin. He gets a tackle on him, right? And he just outmaneuvers him, right? And it's their left tackle, right? It's one of their best linemen. He feels it, and he just gets out the way there. And the reason that tackle can't get to him is because Devin's eyes are really, really strong on this play, right? Devin sees where this is going, and he's being aggressive. And you see the athleticism there. He starts to play on the right hash near the V of the Cleveland, and he's the first guy to meet Jacobs in that hole. Bam. And once he meets there, just knocks down the whole Django tree, right? Boom. Schlesinger's there. 96 is there. 33's there. Nice, nice, nice. Very nice stuff. All right, this is the fourth quarter. Another run to Josh. And, boy, who blew that shit up? My goodness. Is that Collins? No, Collins doesn't wear a sleeve. It's Shelby. Shelby still got it, right? Double team on him. They're going to leave the backside of this play, so they're going to let Miles run. Miles sees the trap coming, stops, and gets out the way. This is, if you ever wanted to know Miles' evolution, I watched years of Myles Garrett tape where he saw himself running free, and he's just sprinting. Not even thinking about it. Now he's like, I'm too good for them to let me run free, dog. There's something coming. Okay. And he dodges it. So great awareness by Miles there, but Shelby splits the double. Well, just gets rid of the double. 63 really doesn't stick on Shelby as long as he needed to. Too eager to climb to that second level. And when you're worried about the linebackers before you get done with the dirty work at the bottom here, you know, you're worried about springing a big play for this offensive lineman. Big play ain't going to happen because you ain't handle your first responsibility, right? Mason Graham also does a really good job here. Watch him with 75 here. So let me highlight Mason. Another long arm, right? Boom. That's a win right there for Mason Graham. I don't know what Pro Football Focus is trying to tell us. This guy had a 40 grade in the run game. It's not true. I don't know how anybody has a 40 grade when the Browns gave up like 40 yards rushing the whole game to running backs. And what Josh Jacobs was held to 2.5 yards a carry. I don't know how anybody has a 40 in the run game. That's why you can't take the Pro Football Focus grades verbatim, right? Their charting, their data, everything else they do there, pretty good. Their grades are probably their worst metric. They're like Wikipedia pages. They're good in the pinch, you know, but they're not definitive by any means. 75 here. Mason gets that nice long arm in there, right? And what's he able to do with that long arm? He's able to go where he wants to, right? And he slides off, helps Shelby with the tackle. That, sir, is a run stuff. Tie game here. 2 minutes left. 2nd and 9. Another run stuff. Whew. Isaiah McGuire does an excellent job here. So that's the first thing that pops up, right? Isaiah McGuire. Myles Garrett. This is the biggest difference from Myles like 3 years ago and Myles today. His run defense is just so good now. Like, he's so disciplined in the run game, and Myles used to be very undisciplined in the run game. Like, look at just how he just contains the backside of his play. I mean, that's not stuff Myles used to do, right? He didn't used to trust his teammates like that. Now he does. So 57, McGuire just straight up wins his one-on-one right here, right? Wins his one-on-one. He's got 75 going backwards, 71 going backwards. He gets underneath him, arm on 8. He doesn't come down with the tackle, but he makes Jacobs have to plant and reverse. And see, look, when everybody is doing their job, all you got to do is a little bit to get a big result here. Because, look, he doesn't, all he does is win. He doesn't make the big play. He doesn't make a spectacular play, throw 71 off of him and then wrap up Josh Jacobs. But all he had to do was a little bit. When nobody's trying to be the hero and everybody's just doing their job, a little bit goes a long way. 57 wins, cuts this backfield, and then boom, Myles Garrett there for an easy cleanup. That's what this defense has that they didn't have in 2023, right? In 2023, they were making a lot of plays, but it wasn't as cohesive. The trust from Myles with the rest of the defensive line wasn't there. The cohesiveness with the linebacker crew wasn't there. Hell, sometimes the cohesiveness with the secondary isn't what it is right now with this Browns defensive unit. I'd argue right now they're playing better football than they even did in 2023. You know, as good as that defense was, I think this is more cohesive. This is a unit that is not in their first year in the Jim Schwartz system, and you can tell, right? There's maturity there. There's understanding of responsibilities and complexity to the scheme that they're rolling with. We're really going to see this when we get to the pressures, but just that's something to notice with what we're watching right now with the Cleveland Browns defense is, hey, this is a better unit overall than 2023 if we're just looking at how they're executing and how they're able to execute, you know? Let's go to some pressures here. I mean, we're just seeing a lot here. Like, this breakdown's going to be long because there's a lot to, like, break down here. So first thing we're going to look at, I mean, is this twist here between Mason Graham and Malik Collins. I mean, my God, right? This is impossible to stop. So Malik Collins, first of all, he just straight up wins. So Malik Collins just wins right here, instant win. And then also Mason Graham gets an instant win here. Both just won instantly. So that's immediate pressure. They're bringing 2 on Myles, right? So 77 and 85. So Kraft and 77, that they're going to be on Myles. So, and look, they even got Jacobs hovering over this, right? So it's really 2.5. So 2 guys on Myles, a tight end, a tackle, and then Jacobs, hey, if there's trouble, put a shoulder in him, right? If there's not, feel free to get out of there. Not only do you have that, you have, look at the job that McGuire does here, splitting this double. So 3 pressures on 1 play, 2 instant wins, 1 guy splitting a double. I mean, this play never had a chance. This play never had a chance. Jordan Love don't even know what hit him right now. It looks like a race to the quarterback. 3rd and 7 here in the first quarter. Pressure forces a bad throw here. This is just being patient, right? Unlike the last play where everybody just won on their first move, nobody wins on their first move, right? Mason's getting doubled. That double switches to Isaiah McGuire. Malik Collins doesn't win his two-way go instantly. But how does Miles get pressure here? Just outside, eats the blow. Okay, I didn't win. Let me reset, find the quarterback, and just run to him, right? Just patience there, right? Nice job. Forces a bad throw, gets him off the field. Third and 9 here, opening of the second quarter. My God. I mean, he almost made a good play there, the quarterback, but the ball wasn't good enough. But look how fast this pressure comes on him. So, yeah, look how fast this pressure just gets to Jordan Love. I believe that's Mason Graham. So again, working on a center, swipes his hands. I mean, he's instantly there. Collins is right behind him. They're looping, I think, Schlesinger around. It never ends up mattering. But yeah, just pressure, chaos every play. They create a lot of chaos. And then, hell, even when you do get the ball out, if it's not a perfect ball and you're throwing it out against Denzel Ward, I mean, you're lucky that it's only a batted pass, right? And we know Denzel can pick those off and go the other way. I mean, that's the crazy thing about the Browns defense. We spent so much time talking about the playmakers in that front seven. You almost forget that the Browns have one of the best corners in all of football in Denzel Ward as well. It's just such a beautiful extra weapon to have if you're the Browns. Go here, quarter 2, 1st and 10. Another pressure here. Little play action. They get to him. It's not the most dominant pressure you've ever seen. Right? Wonder who they gave the pressure to. Probably, who is that? Oh, it's probably McGuire. The pressure's probably going to McGuire. All right, let's go to the next play. 2nd and 6. Second quarter. I mean, this one's obviously a Miles pressure. I think this is the run Jordan run play, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's the run Jordan run play. There's no preparing yourself for this as a tackle. Like, I don't know what you do to this. Like, he's not supposed to be capable of doing that. Look at this shit. This is clean. Myles Garrett Euro step is going to be like the new step back 3. And what I mean by that is every single kid right now who's putting his hand in the dirt, who has NFL dreams of being an edge rusher at your local high school, maybe even at your local college, is looking at Myles Garrett do these Euro steps and thinking to themselves, I'm going to do that too. And it's going to be like the Odell Beckham one-handed catch where, you know, when growing up, that was the only time I ever saw it was Odell Beckham doing it, right? The one-handed catch. But then so many people grew up watching Odell that they started practicing those one-handed catches. And then you're going to see like a whole nother generation of people come up with that as a legitimate, arsenal for them in their pass catching bag. For edge rushers, it's going to be this Euro. Kids are going to be practicing this Euro. You're going to see people try to pull this off. Right now, nobody can do it. But, you know, this, when you demonstrate this, people are going to train to try to do this because this is just hard to stop. I mean, this is Miles. This is a signature move for Miles now, right? Because he's the only guy who hits those Euros clean like that. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Jordan Love has no real option here but to get rid of this thing. And again, when you pressure somebody, you force them into bad mechanics. Hey, man, give credit, too, to whoever that was coming through. Was that McGuire? Yeah, McGuire just, like, barrels through this play, too. Like, I don't even think Jordan's really aware of Miles. I think he's reacting to Isaiah McGuire here, right? Because that's the guy he can see. And he's like, oh, shit, let me get out of here. He don't even know Miles is there. And, you know, if we could have got a better cover here on 85, if Grant can make him hesitate here, I think there's a real chance that you can get Jordan Love because he's not aware that Miles is right behind him. Because I do truly believe he's reacting to this pressure from Isaiah McGuire. That, you know, if you get a better cover on that tight end, so he's not open, he's not an option, you can get Jordan to stop, to set his feet, to try to hit 18 or come back side. Well, back, he's not going to do that. He's a good quarterback. Might try to set his feet to go back to 18 here. If he does that, Miles is going to crush him. Because, again, I don't really think he knew he was there till it was too late. 2nd and 7. Maybe he heard his tackle screaming, though. That's a good point. All right. Oh, goodness. No, it's Mason Graham with the pressure. Mason Graham on 75 here. We don't got to search this one out. Yeah, pretty nice. I mean, he just engages, disengages, gets the pressure here. And the Browns get downhill, force a 3rd down. 2nd and 10 here. I mean, just look at how much shit they're doing to try to stop Miles right now. Look at this. Look at this. So inline tight end, tackle, and then where's this guy's eyes at? Myles Garrett. They got 3 guys pre-snap on Miles right here, right? They got how many guys in line to block right now? They were terrified of this pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 guys in line here to block. 7. It's insane. Yeah, they're all blocking too, by the way. Browns get a pressure on this one anyways. It's this 23 block? No, 23 is going to just get out there and run a route. He has to. There's only going to be like so many people available to run a route. So they're keeping 7 in the block on this play. The Browns are only rushing 4. They got 6 eyes. Look at that. They have 6 eyes on Myles Garrett. 65 is feeling 74, getting his ass beat right now. Look at this. 74 is getting that ass whooping right now. And until that ass whooping comes across 65's face, will he finally look at Malik Collins? Like 74 is getting wrangled back there, just left, right. And look, 65 don't want to look at it. He wants to look at Miles. It's not until he goes right into his chest where he stops him from looking at Miles. So right now, they got 4 people on these 2, which leaves one-on-ones for both Graham and Alex Wright. And Graham doesn't win his. I think that guy, the 75, actually does a real good job. He loses initially. Right? So he loses initially. Mason gets a good swipe on him. But then he tries to rip and bend him. and he runs him around. Jordan steps up. But when there's this much chaos going on, there's only so much you can maneuver, right? So good job by Jordan to step around and do all that, try to keep his eyes on the play. It's just there's only so much you can do. And that's Alex Wright getting the sack here. And I want you to know that for the bulk of this play, the Green Bay Packers tried to avoid this sack, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys versus 4. 4v7 and 4-1. That is impressive stuff. Now they're in a 3rd and 22 here. And again, man, the Packers are doing everything they can to try to slow down this front. Right? They're doing a lot. It's just not working. Right? So again, how many guys do they have in the block? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All of this to deal with 4 Cleveland Browns. And the Browns overwhelmingly win this battle. First of all, this is bad execution from Green Bay. This is a whole lot of getting their ass beat happening here. Because, yeah, you sent 7 guys, but these guys got dispatched like jobbers, all of them. 88, I mean, like, that's no help. You might as well run a route. That's what you're going to do. Just absolutely no help here. 63 was in trouble by the time Jordan Love said go. Because look at this. Yeah, it's not what this is not the position you want to be in to block Myles Garrett. This is not going to ever block Myles Garrett. Okay. So that right there, that's never blocking Myles Garrett. This position right here, if you are in this position, you might as well let Myles walk on by, brother. You ain't going to do nothing but hold him. And you should have got called for the hold. Then on the other side of this play, let's look at Isaiah McGuire. 30's supposed to be helping. And 30's help is basically no help, right? So 30's supposed to be helping. McGuire just swipes him out the way. And then he just swipes underneath 77 as well. I mean, like, that's a great rush by Isaiah McGuire. The play's just nowhere near him. And then Aiden Huntington, who ends up getting in there, right? 1-on-1, two-way go, right? He's the guy who gets the 1-on-1 here because they're doubling Isaiah. They're doubling Mason. They're doubling Myles. You're the man with the plan. You're the one they give him the two-way go to. And he wins. Easy. Easy. You ever wonder how a 7-man protection can go wrong? One, these two are just scared to death of the assignment, right? Like, Myles Garrett is terrifying them. He's not going to do shit, and he's scared to death. He's sprinting to get to his spot. 30's absolutely no help. These two do a decent job, but he loses his battle, and it leaves a 1-on-1, and he loses his battle. That's how you win 7v4 on 3rd and 22. My goodness. My goodness. 3rd and 6. This is in the 3rd quarter. It's good pressure by Mason here. Right, disengaging. And then good job by Malik Collins just demonstrating a motor. But really, I think the guy who gets credit for this turning into a sack is Isaiah McGuire on the outside here. He's the one who forces this back inside with this nice rep here on 71. Again, probably should get a holding call in 71. But this pressure here, and look how he bends that corner. Really nice there, too. So look at McGuire get underneath those pads, bends that corner. And that makes Jordan Love have to step up. He steps up, and boom, Malik Collins is right there. 4th down, punt the ball. Huge play. Isaiah McGuire deserves a ton of credit on that one. That Isaiah McGuire, he's a hell of a player, man. I know they were killing him on the broadcast for running down the line. I think that might be Jim Schwartz stuff more than it is Isaiah McGuire being undisciplined. Or it might be young player stuff, right? We saw even Miles do that stuff when he was young. I mean, Schlesinger, this one's pretty clear here, right? Just takes advantage of the protection. Love what Devin Bush does here, right? Knows that Schlesinger is going to be fire dogging over this. So, little fire dog, right? So just does a good job of shooting and then pulling his man to open that gap. And then Schlesinger, like a good linebacker or running back, runs through the gap with violence. Unfortunately, the ball does get out. The only real note here for Schlesinger, guy with a quick release, like Jordan Love, you're going to want to get those hands up, right? Quick release with Jordan Love. If you ain't there by the time he winds up, you ain't getting to him. Get those hands up and jump. Batted pass is just as good as a sack here. Because what you can have happen in one or two things. One, you can get up, disrupt the passing lane, force a bad throw, maybe a tip overthrow, maybe it turns into an interception. Or he has to adjust to it. That slows him down, allows Isaiah McGuire to get him there. So good job by Schlesinger being quick. Just next time, know your personnel, get that arm up against a guy like Jordan Love. Late third quarter, 1st and 10. It's a quick pressure here from Shelby Harris. Just wins inside on 77. They get rid of the ball quickly here. And then, good hustle by that Joe Tryon-Shoyinka? Yeah, it's Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. Let's get to the next one. All right, last one. Third quarter, 3rd and 1. I mean, Shelby Harris just gets through. Mason dealing with a double team. Miles dealing with a triple team. Yeah. It's a whole lot of bodies there. But it's Joe Tryon-Shoyinka who actually gets the pressure here. So nice little drive up, disengage, rolls out there. So the rep's good. It's just got to disrupt Jordan a little bit more than this. But it ends up being fine because Carson Schlesinger, he just really commits to this, right? Like, makes a decision. All right, I want to hover around this. No, I'm going to attack him. He's going to take forever to throw this. And he does. And the reason he can't get that one off, right? So Jordan Love wants to throw this one to 30, but there's two reasons he can't do it. One, his wide receiver just kind of bumps him right there. That slows him down and allows Devin Bush to catch up. But also watch Devin Bush close on this, right? Start sprinting on this. He kind of closes on that really well. So it muddies the picture greatly for Jordan. That's why he puts the ball back down. So again, part terrible execution from the Packers, part great hustle from the Browns. This is what happens when you just play through every whistle. And then that extra second turns into a huge sack here to start the fourth. Yeah, this Browns defense is the real deal, right? Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to have their off days. That doesn't mean that they're not going to have matchups where teams are going to get the better of them. But boy, this defense, it's really good. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.